Today on the Rachel Maddow show of the 21st of January, she brought up a topic that could be very, very important. Just spent 3 or 4 minutes on it, but it's something with which I have a little bit of experience. She brought up the point that Andrew Weissman, the lead prosecutor for the Mueller team, directly after Joe Biden was inaugurated, he let everyone know that the pardons that Trump had issued for his cronies and his enablers were for the crimes for which they had either been convicted or for the crimes that the grand jury had handed down for prosecution. And that makes all kinds of sense if you're not thinking straight or if you're not an attorney. And I'm not an attorney. As William Frawley said, I don't know a habeas from a corpus. But I have spent a little bit of time in federal court. The pardons, Andrew Weissman was saying, as I said, were very specific. And it makes sense that they were. You've got Roger Stone. He's been convicted of these crimes, and the crimes of which he's been convicted are going to send him to prison. So let's pardon him from those crimes. Now he won't go to prison. Or, oh my goodness, the grand jury has okayed a prosecution on these charges for this person. Let's issue a pardon for those. But here's the catch. There are always more charges that can be brought. Did you defraud people of money? Well, my goodness, that's illegal to defraud people of money. You can be convicted of that, and the grand jury can hand down an indictment, and you can be prosecuted. But oh my goodness, did you make a phone call in the process of coordinating that fraud? Well, now you've got a new kind of fraud to throw in. You've got wire fraud. How about, did you write a letter? Any letter in the furtherance of that fraud? Did you ever write a letter in the furtherance at any time with that fraud? Whoops! You just got included with mail fraud. Did you make any money through that fraud? Well, yes, I guess, look at that. I made $100,000 with that fraud. Did you include it in your taxable income? Well, it was fraud. I didn't want to. I'd have to say I got this money by fraud. Whoops! That's tax fraud, and that's something different too. There are always more charges. I sometimes, just to illustrate the point, if you steal a sheep, you can be convicted of stealing the sheep. But you can also be pardoned for stealing the sheep. But did you include the fair market value of that sheep on your taxable income for state and federal? Whoops, that's tax fraud. Totally different thing. There are always more charges. And Andrew Weissman was bringing out the point that the pardons were only for the charges of which the individuals had either been convicted or the grand jury had handed down. And great, congratulations, you just got those charges lifted from you. Here's 6 more. And you don't have a pardon for those, and so it makes sense that he waited until after Joe Biden was inaugurated, because if he had brought it up before, Trump could have gone, whoops, we didn't write that right. We didn't write that correctly. There's a boatload of people who received pardons, and they had already served a bunch of time, and some of these people, shoot, I'll bet you they deserve a pardon just as much as the next guy. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Anytime we can justly reduce the prison population of the United States that is tremendously bloated, because I think we get a civic orgasm by sending people to prison in this country. Anytime we can relieve a person and bring them out of the darkness and into the light of liberty, I'm excited about that. If it can be done justly and correctly, allowing for each person's depravity. Whatever. But the point is, that was a rabbit trail. The point is, these individuals who received pardons, who had already served time, who had already gone to prison, usually those charges now, they haven't done any crimes while they've been in prison, and the statute of limitations has run out to go back after them. But for people who were pardoned specifically because they were friends of the president, and specifically to keep them quiet regarding the president's crimes, those individuals can start the carousel all over again. The carousel of ugly. They can start it all over again, and find themselves going through the whole process again on totally different charges that they may have already, to which they may have already admitted. Since you'll admit to all kinds of things, knowing that the prosecutor has told you, well, here are the charges we're going to bring, because you were all set for that plea agreement. But there are always more charges that you can bring for an individual. At least that has been my experience. There are always more.